Welcome everyone to another Love and Light Angel Messages video series. Today I'm going to talk to you about guides again because it's always an interesting subject. Sometimes it's important for us to have a certain confirmation and you will get that sometimes in a very surprising way. I had a client one time that she called me. She wanted an appointment for an angel reading. I knew who she was, just, her name, and I'd met her a few times at different events around the city. Well, that's about it. I didn't know much about her except, with her involvements in politics and such. So, so before she came in, I always do a small meditation before clients come in because I start to download messages right away. When I closed my eyes for the meditation, immediately I saw this Aboriginal warrior standing in front of me. He was very intimidating, very tall, stoic, and he was standing there. He had just long hair, and he had a breastplate on that was made with porcupine quills or something in that nature. And it was very, you could tell he was a warrior. He was standing there with his spear, whatever that was, but he was very, very strong and stoic. And right away he told me he was Iroquois, and the Iroquois from Iroquois Nation, and that he had followed this lady. He was her guardian, her spirit guide. He had followed her since the day she was born. And in an earlier video, I told you sometimes they change. The spirit guides can come and go. And this one here, I followed her throughout her childhood, and he was still with her. And because she was a fighter like he was, he had actually saved her a few times from death when she was young. And so he told me that to tell her to continue the fight and to always stand strong, and he would always be with her. So I was elated to have, just gotten this information to share with her. But he had also told me that she was of Iroquois descent. So that was a little tricky for me because I had, like I said, I knew who she was just by, having met her a few times before, but she did not, she didn't have the dark hair or not at all, just actually she had like auburn hair, like reddish auburn hair, and so not at all that I think that she had any Aboriginal background. But he told me to make sure to tell her that he was there. So when this lady came in, she sat down, and I told her, that I had done this meditation, and I said, you have spirit guide with you, and he's been with you since childhood. And then I heard, they always speak in this year for me, and then I heard, tell her about her Iroquois warrior. I'm with her, and that she's from Iroquois descent, and that will confirm. So I kind of hesitate to ask her but he was, just knocking on the side of my head and say, ask her, ask her. I think he wanted to confirm with me, just to say, you're hearing right, because sometimes the message also is for me. So I said, okay, before we go on, can I ask you one question? She said, sure. I said, are you Aboriginal? Are you from either father or mother? She says, oh yeah, my mom is Iroquois. And I said, your mom is Iroquois? She said, yeah, she comes from the Iroquois tribe. And so that was just a mind-blowing thing for me. And also for her when I told her that she had this warrior standing beside her, and that's why she was such a fighter. She was such, like, she won't back down, she's politics, and she does what she needs to do to move forward, and also a very strong advocate for the environment, which was, of course, Aboriginals are very strong in the environment with animals and taking care of our planet for sure, and like we all should. And so that was pretty exciting for her to hear that she had this warrior standing beside her, and he would never, never let her down. And also, I asked her if she had had any incidents when she was younger where her life was actually in danger, because he had told me that he had saved her a few times, and she confirmed that yes, that things had happened where it ended better than it should have, I guess. But and she was lucky to be alive. So that was one way for her to get to know her spirit guide, and now she has somebody to chat to, because I've spoken with her a few times after, and she still thinks about her Iroquois warrior, and she envisions him standing beside her anytime she's out there and fighting the good fight. I had another client come in, and like I say, I meditate, and also I have my little altar, and sometimes I'm guided to put something on the table in front of me before they come in. So I went to my altar, and I'm looking at my crystals and just different things, and I kept going. I have two feathers that I use for smudging. One is, of course, the eagle feather, and the other one is a blue heron feather. And I picked up the blue heron feather, and I, I picked it up, and I usually never ever touch my feathers unless it's for smudging, but it kept telling me to put that blue feather on the table in front. So I hesitated, but I said, okay, this is what you want me to do. This is what I'm going to do. So I put the feather on the table, and my client arrived about 20 minutes later. I had never met this lady. I knew only her first name, and she came in. She sat down in front of me, and we started talking. And about, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes into the reading, I asked her if the subject of past lives came up. And she says, oh, yes, she says, because I know past lives exist, because I went to a reader once, and she told me I was a shaman, and my name was Blue Feather. And she says I have it actually tattooed on my leg. I have a blue feather tattooed on my leg. So I picked up the feather, and I said, "Do you know what this is?" And she says, "Well, it's a feather." I said, "Not only just a feather. It's a blue heron feather." So that kind of solidified her thoughts on what the other reader had said, that she was a shaman in a past life, and she she was named Blue Feather. So the guides will come in, and they will bring back past lives to sometimes they'll intertwine with what we have now, and in the life we have now, just for us to say, you know what, we're all one, whether past, present, or future. We're all intertwined together in whatever lessons we learn, whatever we can teach to others. It just kind of rolls along, and the more lives we have, I guess the more we pick up. So, and as I thought that those stories were just amazing for me also, and all these lessons are always, I always get a little bit of something from each reading I do. So I thought I would share that with you today, and I've got a lot more stories to tell you, so I hope you'll tune in for the next one. So for today, I'm wishing you love and light, and just have a blessed day.